Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Now, can someone please control the who and who has not gotten? Okay. We have one extra here. Are you going to be coming every week? بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. All praise belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who has given us yet another opportunity to continue our study session in this Aqidah class. This is going to be our 11th lesson in this kitab, Uthool Thalatha of Sheikh Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab. Today is the 21st day in the month of Jumada Thani, 1441, after the historic hijrah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam from Mecca to Medina, which is equivalent to the 16th day in the month of February 2020, the Christian era. Lesson 11. Remember, Sheikh said, it is compulsory upon us to have knowledge regarding four things. Alaysa kadhalik. Wajibul aini aw fardul aini, an individual obligation, isn't it? Yes. Now we've discussed al-ilmu, which was defined as معرفة الله ومعرفة نبيه صلى الله عليه وسلم ومعرفة دين الإسلام بالأدلة. Then العمل به, that is acting upon the knowledge that you have acquired. وَالدَّعْوَةُ إِلَيْهِ, our last lesson, calling people onto knowledge and action. It is not enough to acquire knowledge or to have acquired knowledge without inviting others to that knowledge. So the fourth part of this first risala is as-sabru ala al-adha fi. As-sabru ala al-adha fi. Patience upon the harm that will be inflicted on you in the course of learning and teaching. Patience that will be inflicted upon, it is compulsory upon anyone, any Muslim that have acquired knowledge, that is preaching and calling unto Allah, teaching people, and is acting upon that knowledge, because it's one thing when you are acting upon your knowledge, you also face challenges, isn't it? Yes. When you are calling people again, you face challenges. Yes. Now you have acquired this knowledge, you face challenges in knowledge acquisition. Yes. Then you are bound to face another set of challenge when you practice on that knowledge, because people are now going to, antagonize you for practicing on the knowledge that you have acquired. You are not safe. Even when you start discharging the third obligation upon you of calling people onto that knowledge, you're still going to face harm. So on all of these three, as-sabru ala al-adha fi, the medicine to all of these ailments is what? As-sabru, patience, ala al-adha fi, on the harm that will be inflicted upon you on this path that you take. Alaysa kadhalik. Yani ar-rabi'a as-sabru, page 16, please. Page 16. Is it the same with the new kitab? 17. Page 17. Page 17. For those that just got the new book, page 17. For the old timers is 16. Page 16. Ar-rabi'a, the fourth one. As-sabru ala al-adha fihi. Patience on the harm, on the path of knowledge and calling others onto the knowledge that you have acquired. Yani ad-da'watu ila Allah. وَالدَّلِيلُ قَوْلُهُ تَعَالَى, and the evidence for this fourth part of the necessity to be the necessity to have patience on this path of the prophets, the path of calling people onto the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is the statement of Allah. Now, it's not only this. Sheikh is an intellectual. I love this word, isn't it? May Allah make us among intellectuals, because Quran is addressing intellectuals, isn't it? So Sheikh Muhammad bin Abdul Wahab, he went to the Quran, and that is why we say we don't have to go outside the realm of the Quran to find solutions to all of the problems that we are faced with, because of the amazing nature of the Quran. Now, Sheikh has made mention of 4 things, and all of these 4 things can be summed up under one verse of the Quran, under one chapter of the Quran. Everything of it is in one chapter of the Quran. Al-ilmu wal-amalu bihi wad-da'watu ilayhi was-sabru ala al-adha fihi. These 4 things can all be found in this, and Sheikh is now telling us what dalilu. The reason why I said these 4 things are compulsory upon us is the fact that qawluhu ta'ala is the statement of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most exalted. Allah, He says, wal asr, Allah took an oath with the absolute time. Az-zaman, az-zaman. Allah took an oath with zaman. Inna li-insana lafi khusr. Verily, man is in loss. Some of the mufassirun, they said, yani al-kafir. But generally, man is in loss. Why some of the mufassirun said it is referring to the kuffar is because Allah made al-istithna. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. So that was why they said, إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ, talking about the non-believer. But you should also understand that if you have not equipped yourself with the attributes of a believer, you fall into the category of those that are in loss. Yes. Whether it is referring to the kuffar, as long as you exhibit the character that made them to be referred to as the losers, then you find yourself in that category also. Am I communicating? So, in إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, except those who believe, وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, and do righteous deeds, وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ, وَتَوَاصَوْا النَّصِيحَةِ, وَتَوَاصَوْا, and they recommend each other to the truth. Al-Haq huna al-Quran, kama qala al-Hasan al-Basri wa Imam al-Qatada. They say Al-Haq huna, it means what? Al-Quran al-Karim. Am I communicating? While Muqatil bin Hayyan is said Al-Haq is what? At-Tawheed. Al-Iman wa Tawheed. It's all the same. Al-Haq. So except those that what? That act righteously, وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ, and they recommend one another to the truth. Yani Al-Quran. Al-Hasan al-Basri, Imam al-Qatada, أو Al-Iman wa Tawheed. Muqatil bin Hayyan. So except those that recommend each other to the truth, to the Quran, to Tawheed. You can see, we can't escape it. Everything, nobody is talking about except those that recommend each other to good character and other things. No. Do you understand? You can't focus on all of that while you are living Tawheed. Tawheed is the foundation. That is why وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ يعني الإيمان والتوحيد كما قال مقاتل بن حيان. Then وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ, and they recommend one another to patience. To patience. What is this patience? That is what we're going to discuss, inshallah. So Sheikh said this is the dalil, this is the evidence. قال الشافعي, Imam al-Shafi'i, rahimahullah, may Allah have mercy on him. Imam al-Shafi'i says, لو ما أنزل الله حجة على خلقه إلا هذه السورة لكفتهم. Imam al-Shafi'i, he said, لو ما أنزل الله حجة على خلقه إلا هذه السورة لكفتهم. If Allah had not revealed any evidence, any hujjah upon his creations except this surah, Surah Al-Asr, لكفتهم, it would have sufficed them. They would have been independent. We will explain what the statement of Imam Shafi'i points towards. But he said, لو ما أنزل الله حجة على خلقه إلا هذه السورة لكفتهم. It would have sufficed them. Surah Al-Asr. Surah Al-Asr. A specimen, Imam Ibn Kathir, he said, is a specimen for brevity. B-R-E-V-I-T-Y. A specimen for brevity. Surah Al-Asr. Comprehensive knowledge kept in this short verse of the Quran, that it suffices. You can see the statement of Ibn Kathir is somehow related to what Imam Shafi'i said. So if you take the tafsir of Ibn Kathir under Surah Al-Asr, you will see that he said it is a specimen for brevity and comprehensiveness. How short a surah it is, but how comprehensive and brevity, how comprehensive it is in terms of the knowledge and the guidance kept in it and all that the believers need. Namshi. وقال البخاري, who is bringing all these evidences? Now, Sheikh Muhammad bin Abdul Wahab, this is the first risala, isn't it? This is the first risala. 4 things that he made mention of. Now, he's telling you that the evidence for my statement is the chapter of the Quran, and commenting on that chapter, Imam Shafi'i said so and so. Then let us go to the hadith. From Quran, we have Sahih Bukhari, the second most authentic book after Quran. In the world of Islam, the Sunnis, isn't it? The Shiites do not accept your Sahih Bukhari, so you have to differentiate black from white. Thank God I'm not wearing black today. And even if I was wearing, my Sudani friend will balance it with his white Sudani outfit. Now, so do you understand? Now, then he's now going to Sahih Bukhari to give us an evidence also. What did he say? وقال البخاري Imam Bukhari رحمه الله تعالى, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on him. باب العلم قبل القول والعمل. Imam Bukhari in Sahih Bukhari, he opened a chapter and gave the chapter the title. He entitled it with what? باب العلم قبل القول والعمل. The chapter of knowledge before speech and action. You can't talk if you don't. وَلَا تَكْفُ مَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِعِلْمٍ. Do not say that which you have no knowledge of. أَلَيْسَ كَذَلِكَ. وَلَا عَمَلٍ. You can't act without knowledge. مَنْ عَمِلَ عَمَلًا فَهُوَ رَدٌّ. Bukhari or Muslim. You can't. You can't talk without knowledge. You can't act without knowledge. Hence, Islam is a religion of knowledge. أليس كذلك? So, باب العلم قبل القول والعمل. So he's now bringing this as an evidence. Imam Bukhari is a faqih, isn't it? If you want to know how deep the juristic prowess of Imam Bukhari is, take Sahih Bukhari. From the titles he gave to his chapters, you know that he's got something upstairs. MashaAllah. Do you understand? Then the chapter has this. Then what dalilu qawluhu ta'ala, then Imam Bukhari is now saying the evidence for my chapter's title is the statement of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, fa'alam annahu la ilaha illallah wastaghfir li dhanbik. Fa'alam. Be informed. Have knowledge. Seek for knowledge. Annahu la ilaha illallah. Seek for knowledge that verily there is no deity worthy of worship except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wastaghfir li dhanbik. Then seek for forgiveness for your sins. Seek for forgiveness for your sins. For each one of us is a sinner. The worst form of sinners are those that perpetually indulge in their sins, even when they know that it is sinful, and they perpetually, give into satanic whispering and they indulge in their sins. Then it destroys our lives entirely. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the ability to constantly seek for repentance for our sins. Surah Al-Muhammad, chapter 19. What is the other name for Surah Al-Muhammad? Thank God I didn't put a price tag to it. Who had what he said? Surah Al-Qital, fighting. That's another name. What's another name for Surah Al-Ghafir? What is Surah Al-Ghafir chapter what? 42. This guy, you are now sitting, no, 44 is Surah Al-Dukhan. 42 is Surah Al-Ghafir. 40 is Ghafir, 42 is Shura. 41 is Fussilat. So what is the other name for Surah Al-Ghafir, Quran chapter 40? Mu'min, naam. 23 is Surah Al-Mu'minuna. Ghafir is also Mu'min. أليس كذلك؟ Muhammad Surah Al-Qital أيضا. Okay. Okay. So he's thinking it's a different text. Can you substitute with the Okay, let's go. Okay, it's trying to say that the new book, the mutton is segmented. It doesn't come complete like that. The mutton is taken point by point. Yeah, so you have to be opening pages You have to open pages before, so no problem, inshallah. فَبَدَأَ بِالْعِلْمِ. Now let's go. فَبَدَأَ بِالْعِلْمِ. Imam Bukhari now began with Allah began with knowledge, isn't it? Afwan, Allah began with knowledge by saying, فَعَلَمْ, seek for knowledge. فَبَدَأَ بِالْعِلْمِ قبل القول والعمل. القول لا إله إلا الله, isn't it? العمل واستغفر لذنبك. قوله الصبر على الأذى فيه. A statement, patience over the harm that will come your way in the chosen path, the path of the prophets, the path of calling onto the Tawheed. معلوم أن من دعا الناس. I hope we have people that are putting we say we're going to have the English translation of this translation that I'm doing now. Please, we need people that will put it down so that at the end of the day, inshallah, we can have an English rendering of this. If someone has done it before, maybe we are doing it. This is for our Aqidah class, isn't it? So our students will be proud also to be part of producing an English translation of the Sharh of Usul Thalatha. Alaysa kadhalik. So plus the verses that I'm bringing myself. So this will now be our own share, isn't it? All right. So all of the things we are saying that are good, discard the evil ones. Ma'lumun anna man da'a an-nas. It is known. Ma'lumun, it is common knowledge, isn't it? Anna man da'a an-nas, that he who calls people, he who preaches to people, wa amara bil ma'ruf, and enjoins the good, wa naha anil munkar, and forbids the evil, fa innahu sayata'arradu lil adha. He will be exposed to harms. He will face a lot of harms. That is yata'arrad. You will be exposed to a lot of harms. Wallahi, it is not possible for you to preach Tawheed and Iman, wallahi, without you facing a lot of harms from a lot of people, from Muslims and non-Muslims alone. It is impossible, as long as you are doing the right thing of calling people onto the path of Allah without any compromise, unapologetically so, then be rest assured. So what is the beauty of this? You cushion yourself before even embarking on such a journey. So when they throw stones at you, you know it is expected and you smile over it. Alaysa kadhalik. Inna sanulqi alayka qawlan thaqila. Before the Prophet ﷺ went deep into preaching, Allah said, stand up at night and pray. It prepares you. Tahajjud. Alaysa kadhalik. فَإِنَّهُ سَيَتَعَرَّضُ لِلْعَذَى مِنَ الْأَشْرَارِ. It will be exposed. It will face a lot of harm from the wicked people. Al-Ashrar. Al-Ashrar. From the wicked people. And, you know, the evil people. لأن كثيرا من الناس لا يريدون الخير. لأن كثيرا من الناس لا يريدون الخير. Because majority of people do not like good things. What we mean by good here is that which Allah has defined to be good. You have chosen what is good for you, of committing sins, of disobeying Allah, while you know that what you're doing is Allah's disobedience. But that is what you have chosen because of your desires. That is not the type of good we are talking about. You know, someone asked me, and he said some young ladies were asking him, Muslim young ladies were asking him that, why did Allah forbid zina? Wallahi al-azim. Why did Allah forbid zina while it is pleasurable? That was the question. These young girls, Muslims, Nigerians, without being tribalistic, from northern part of Nigeria. And they're saying, why? They can't fathom it. Do you understand? Because to them, that is good for them. That is what they have chosen. So, لأن كثيرا من الناس, majority of people, لا يريدون الخير. Wallahi, they don't want good. And that is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I don't know the exact verse number and it has escaped my memory, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَإِن تُطِعْ أكثر من في الأرض يضلوك عن سبيل الله. If you were to follow majority of people on the face of earth, they will mislead you away from the path of Allah. This is in Surah Al-An'am or Surah Al-A'raf. Check it. وَإِن تُطِعْ أَكْثَرَ مَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ يُضِلُّوكَ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ إِن يَتَّبِعُونَ إِلَّا الظَّنَّ. Please check it. It should form part of our sharh. When you follow majority of people on the face of earth, they're going to mislead you. That is why if you're preaching good, you are going to face a lot of harm from people. Why? لأن كثيرا من الناس لا يريدون الخير. نمشي. بل يريدون الشهوات. What they like, what majority of people are given to is ash-shahawat, desires. Their own lustful desires, their greed. It's either they are greedy about material things of this world, blindly so, or they follow their lustful desires and they commit all sorts of al-fahsha, zina and other things because of following their hawa. Ash-shahawat, that is desires. Wal-muharramat, and forbidden things. Majority of people who can give us that verse in Surah to Yusuf. I've given you the chapter, Quran chapter 12, that talks about the human soul. Inna nafsal ammaratu bisu'in illa man rahima rabbik. The nature of the human soul is constant provocation to sin. At each time, please go and commit sin. Go and commit sin. Satan has the ability. Satan does not have the ability to force you to commit sins. He only has the ability to beguile it and make it alluring to you so that you accept it well packaged, you know, when they bring gifts, well packaged and you are all excited. That's how Satan packages sins to us. Alaysa kadhalik. So majority of people, so you put that verse also part of our Sharia, isn't it? A lot of people are jotting things down. Now, An'am, have you confirmed it? Is it in An'am? Yes. 116. Allah yubarak fiqh. An'am, you see, is our mother that is getting it for us now. An'am 116, isn't it? So you get An'am 116, then Surah to Yusuf 12 what? You should be, we can't be in between 50. Someone says 51, 50, 53. Is it? Which one is confirmed? Confirm the verse so that you can have full reference to it. The nature of the human soul is constant provocation to sin. Wal muharramat, that is it. That is why majority of people are just given to forbidden things. What Allah has forbidden, that is what they want to do. They know, but they are just arrogant about it. Or I guess we all are victims of that. May Allah make it easy for us. 53. Yusuf 53. Wal hawa, what is it? Passions. Desires are what? Shahawat. Wal hawa, passions. Al-batila. It's good to be passionate, but not on the path of falsehood. That is why we say falsehood, false passions, isn't it? You are passionate about disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, some people are so passionate, they spend money, they spend hours planning how to commit sin, planning how to go for clubbing, planning how to organize an event and send out invitation, planning how to invite a DJ, planning how to get a bouncer, planning how to buy alcohol, planning how to make it, you know, seamless. Sleepless night is thinking, how can the party be the talk of the town? How can we organize, how can we bring the biggest DJ that is celebrated? Passionate about Allah's disobedience. Some people are passionate about Allah's obedience.
Sorry, please correct translate al-hawa al-batila.
Al-hawa al-batila.
Translation.
That is false passion. فَإِذَا جَاءَ مَنْ يَدْعُوهُمْ إِلَى اللَّهِ. If there comes to them, فَإِذَا جَاءَ مَنْ يَدْعُوهُمْ إِلَى اللَّهِ. If there comes to them the one that calls them unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَيَرُدَّهُمْ عَنْ شَهَوَاتِهِمْ, and turn them away. That is وَيَرُدَّهُمْ. The hadiths of Aisha radiallahu anha in Bukhari and Muslim. فَهُوَ رَدٌّ, isn't it? وَيَرُدَّهُمْ عَنِ الشَّهَوَاتِهِمْ, and it turned them away from their desires. if there comes to them someone that will preach, what you're doing is wrong, it's haram. Leave it. Don't do it. وَيَرْضَوْهُمْ عَنْ شَعَوَاتِهِمْ فَلَا بُدَّ أَنْ يَكُونَ مِنْهُمْ رَدُّ فِعْلٍ. Do you know what is رَدُّ فِعْلٍ? Or رَدُّ فِعْلًا? Reaction. رَدُّ فِعْل, that is reaction. There must be a reaction. That is رَدُّ فِعْل. There must be a reaction بالقول أو بالفعل. Whether someone is going to react بالقول, verbally, أو بالفعل, or with action. Wallahi, someone has broken my mouth before. Blood gushing forth. Because we are talking about Tawheed versus Bid'ah. Wallahi al-Azim. Wallahi al-Azim. But I didn't take my hand back because we kept preaching and today we are preaching and it hasn't, is boxing me and making blood to gush out from my mouth hasn't stopped me. That happened about 15 years ago. Today here we are. After that, how many opportunities haven't Allah given us to keep preaching Tawheed? Inshallah, till the day we meet him, isn't it? So sometimes it is physical. So physical has happened to me. But who am I? We're going to, from the Shari'i now. Who am I? What about the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? Perhaps after going through this today, you will love the Prophet more than you do before. Because of this din, because of this da'wah of Iman and Tawheed. And that is the most beautiful form of da'wah, to call people unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Laysa kadhalik. So you should be grateful to Allah if Allah has chosen you to do that call. It's the best of professions, isn't it? That is what we love to do. That is the most cherishable thing to do in life. Because that is the da'wah, that is the call, that is the duty, that is the profession of the prophets. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from amongst them, those that we call onto his path and accept it from us. فَإِذَا جَاءَ مَنْ يَدَعُوهُمْ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَيَرُدَّهُمْ عَنْ شَعَوَاتِهِمْ, and he turned them away from their desires. فَلَا بُدَّ أَنْ يَكُونَ مِنْهُمْ رَدُّ فِعْلٍ. There must be a reaction from them. بِالْقَوْلِ, verbally, أو بِالْفِعْلِ, or through actions. فَالْوَاجِبُ, what is compulsory? What is obligatory? عَلَى مَنْ يَدْعُو إِلَى اللَّهِ, what is obligatory upon the one that calls unto Allah? Are we not all desirous of being from amongst those that are calling onto the path of Allah? So listen, if that is your passion, if that is your desire, listen. فَالْوَاجِبْ عَلَى مَنْ يَدْعُو إِلَى اللَّهِ وَيُرِيدُ وَجْهَ اللَّهِ أَنْ يَصْبِرَ عَلَى الْأَذَى. What is obligatory upon the one that calls unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? وَيُرِيدُ وَجْهَ اللَّهِ, and it desires the face of Allah, the countenance of Allah. He does it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أَنْ يَصْبِرَ عَلَى الْأَذَى, that it should be patient upon the harm that will come his way. وَأَنْ يَسْتَمِرَّ فِي الدَّعْوَةِ إِلَى اللَّهِ, and that it should yastamir, it should persist. That is mustamirra, isn't it? Persistently. وَيَسْتَمِرَّ وَأَنْ يَسْتَمِرَّ فِي الدَّعْوَةِ إِلَى اللَّهِ, and that it should be persistent. That is yastamir. It should be persistent. Who can give me, it just came to my brain now, who can give me a verse from the Quran that has this mustamir? Yes, Suratul? Yeah, but I need the verse. It just came to me now. Okay, get it for us while we continue. No. Today I'm broke, I don't have money. I'm broke today, I don't have money. The punishment, I'm giving you a clue. Okay, let's continue while someone gets it for us. At least you are engaged. That you should persist fi da'wati Allah, in calling unto Allah. Wa qudwatuhu fi dhalika ar-rusul alayhimus salatu wassalam, and is role models. Qudwa, isn't it? Verse 2, read the verse. وَإِنَّا أَرْسَلْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ رِيحًا صَرْصَرًا فِي يَوْمٍ Mustamir, persistently, kawai azaban bai tsaya ba, that is continuously. Yes. So further down the same chapter. So that is why when you hear, let me give you the gist. Any new word that I come across in Arabic, the first point of reference is always in the Quran. That's what I do. I always force my brain. This word, as it appeared in the Quran, in whatever variant of it, then that makes you to be glued to the Quran. I feel challenged if I hear a new word and perhaps the word, a variant of it is in the Quran and I don't know where it is. So that's how I challenge myself every now and then. I want to know, isn't it? I want to know this word, where Allah has used it in the Quran, and it came, and it keeps coming, isn't it? So Allah makes it easy for us. May Allah make it easy for us. وأن يستمر في الدعوة إلى الله وقدوته في ذلك الرسل عليهم الصلاة والسلام. His role models in this patience and persistence in calling unto Allah, even when you are facing a lot of harms, are the prophets of Allah. Please, what an excellent role model for you to have. What an excellent role model in the personality of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. لقد كان لكم في رسول الله أسوة حسنة لمن كان يرجو الله واليوم الآخر. يرجو الله. You know, so the prophets وخيرتهم وخاتمهم Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the best of them, and the last of them is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. ماذا لقي من الناس? Are you following? ماذا لقي من الناس? What did the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam encounter from the people? What did he face from the people that he called onto the path of Allah? ماذا لقي من الناس. ماذا لقي من الناس. وكم لقي من الأذى. And how many harms didn't the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam face? How many? Many of them. وكم لقي من الأذى بالقول والفعل. How many of these harms didn't the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam face? Of what? Of words, verbal harm, and physical assault against him. How many? Is a question, a rhetorical question. وقالوا, they say, ساحر وكذاب. They say the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a sorcerer, boka, metsafi, kadhabun, makaryachi, a liar. So they called the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam a sorcerer. They called him a liar. So what about you and I? Kare da gudan layya. What about you and I? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was called a sorcerer. The Prophet was called a liar. Are you following? Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَيَقُولُونَ أَإِنَّا لَتَارِكُوا آلِهَتِنَا لِشَاعِرٍ مَجْنُونَ. I'm giving you a reference. Quran chapter 37 verse 36. Surah As-Saffat. وَيَقُولُونَ أَإِنَّا لَتَارِكُوا آلِهَتِنَا لِشَاعِرٍ مَجْنُونَ. They said, do we abandon our gods? Do we abandon our gods? لِشَاعِرٍ مَجْنُونَ. Because of a mad poet. A mad poet. That they called the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam Sha'irun Majnoon, mad poet. Subhanallah. The Prophet of Allah, they called him a mad poet. He had this. Allah is confirming it in the Quran, and we're reading it today. وَيَقُولُونَ أَإِنَّا لَتَارِكُوا آلِهَتِنَا لِشَاعِرٍ مَجْنُونَ. For a mad poet. Why? Because he said they should abandon worshipping others besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and embrace Islamic monotheism. Namshi. I'm giving you another reference. Quran chapter 51, Surah Al-Dhariyat. 51-52. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, كَذَلِكَ مَا أَتَى الَّذِينَ مِن قَبْلِهِم مِّن رَّسُولٍ إِلَّا قَالُوا سَاحِرٌ أَوْ مَجْنُونٌ. So I choose this verse particularly to sum up everything. Because we said, Sheikh is telling us here that the qudwa في ذلك الرسل. It said all the prophets, all the messengers. So let us get the feeling. Let us get the feel of what the prophets of Allah, the messengers of Allah went through. So this verse aptly captured that. 51, 52. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, كَذَلِكَ مَا أَتَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ. Likewise, no messenger came to those before them. إِلَّا قَالُوا سَاحِرٌ أَوْ مَجْنُونَ. Except that they said a sorcerer or a madman. So all of the prophets of Allah were called either sorcerers or madmen. Fir'aun and his people called Musa alayhi salam a sorcerer. Namshi. وَقَالُوا مَجْنُونَ. They called the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam a madman. وَقَالُوا فِيهِ مِنَ الْأَقْوَالِ الَّتِي ذَكَرَ اللَّهُ فِي الْقُرْآنِ. Regarding the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, they made a lot of statements. الَّتِي ذَكَرَ اللَّهُ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ فِي الْقُرْآنِ, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made mention of in the Quran. وَتَنَاوَلُوهُ بِالْأَذَى. وَتَنَاوَلُوهُ بِالْأَذَى. That is, they inflict. They inflict. That is the meaning of the word. They inflict upon him harms. قَذَفُوهُ بِالْحِجَارَةِ. قَذَف. Shi yasa aka ce kazafi. When you do qadhaf, ka jefa ma Saliha, a woman that has not committed zina, you have thrown an accusation against her that she has committed zina. That is what qadhaf. So qadhafuhu, they threw stones at the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam bil hijara. Why? Because he was calling unto Allah. They were, when did this happen? The stoning of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ta'if, the leaders of Banu Thaqif. Banu Thaqif, the leaders of Banu Thaqif in Ta'if, they organized the youth when the Prophet ﷺ went to them, at least to seek for spiritual sanctuary. Instead of them to accommodate him, they organized that the youth should stone the Prophet ﷺ, and they threw pebbles at the Prophet ﷺ. Why? Because he was calling onto the path of Allah. So can't you see that whatever comes your way cannot be compared to what the Prophet ﷺ faced. And Allah loved him more. Allah loves him more than anyone. Yet Allah allowed him to face that when he was calling onto the path of Allah. So even us, as long as you have chosen that profession, then be rest assured that you're going to be faced with a lot of challenges. On that path of calling onto Allah, then ask Allah to give you the strength and the wisdom to be patient on the harms that come your way. Now, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, قَذَفُوهُ بِالْحِجَارَةِ حَتَّى عَدَمُوا عَقِبَهُ. Until the feet of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was filled with what? Blood. They threw stones at the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. His feet, the blood was down there. Yani, the long and short of it is that they threw stones at the Prophet ﷺ until the Prophet started bleeding. The Prophet of Allah. لَمَّا دَعَاهُمْ إِلَى اللَّهِ. Why? When he called them to Allah. Come and worship Allah alone. He's not asking in ajriya illa Allah. My reward is with Allah. I'm not asking you to give me 1 naira for calling you onto Tawheed. I'm not asking you. That is all the prophets of Allah. They said, we are not asking you to pay us for calling you onto the path of Allah. It is our duty, it is our responsibility to call you to worship Allah alone, because knowledge is amana. Remember our last lesson. Knowledge is amana. So they weren't after anything of this dunya from the people they were calling. So they didn't come to amass wealth from the people using religion as a guise. They had their professions. So because he called them onto the path of Allah, they now harmed him. وَأَلْقَوْا سَلَى جَزُورٍ عَلَى ظَهْرِهِ. سَلَى جَزُورٍ. The intestine. Al-Ba'ir. Jazur. The intestine of a camel. They threw at the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وَهُوَ سَاجِدْ إِنْدَ الْكَعْبَةِ. He was in Sujadah in Kaaba. Today we love to be in Kaaba. Isn't it? We love to face the Kaaba. We love to pray at the Kaaba. We love it. The Prophet ﷺ, imagine that serenity. Imagine the golden ambience created and the spiritual serenity. The Prophet of Allah in sujood in front of Kaaba. Allahu Akbar. What words can express the magnificence of this, incidents? Yet it was marred by one thing. It was marred by one thing, that they threw the intestine of a camel at the Prophet of Allah while he was in sujood. The Mu'arrikhuna, the historian said, Fatima was a young child of tender age. She couldn't bear the sight of what she saw being done to her father. She rushed to take it off her father. Imagine the pain of a daughter seeing her father in that situation, in sujood, and then someone throwing. That was, so not only will you face challenges, but even those associated with you will be affected by the harm that will come your way if you're preaching. It's either when you are harmed psychologically, it affects them. So that is the price you pay, isn't it? If you want to be with anyone that calls onto the path of Allah. Like Sheikh Jafar of blessed memory, rahmatullah alayhi, he said, in sabon shaddan ka ne kake so, ka daina zama a gabana saboda aka zo kwarara jini na kar ya bata maka sabon shaddan ka. He said this, na ji a masallacin Beirut lokacin. Said, if it is your beautiful shadda that you are in love with, please stop sitting in the front row. Go behind, lest they come killing me and the blood spills on your cloth and kaje kana tsaki sabon shaddan ka kai da za a binne ba shadda a jikinka. And it is the same thing. Nobody is calling death upon himself, but we are only telling you that inevitably, you either die naturally. If you are calling onto the path of Allah and you stick to it, you either die naturally or someone plans to kill you because of what you're doing. So you should be ready for it. وَمَنْ لَمْ يَمُتْ بِالسَّيْفِ. He who does not die by the sword will die by something other than it. Yani, if you don't die on the path of Allah, some people have died committing zina. Isn't it? If something last, let's go broken. Last, something was kill man. Last, something was kill man. Is it not better for you to die on the path of Allah? All right. We are almost through, inshallah. Well, how many minutes have we gone now? We started late. 52. 52? All right. Now, okay, quickly. وهو ساجد عند الكعبة وتواعدوه بالقتل وهددوه. You know, they plan to kill the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They threatened the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وفي غزوة أحد, in the battle of Uhud, جرى عليه وعلى أصحابه ما جرى. You know what happened? So, you know, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam faced a lot of challenges during the battle of Uhud. Him and his companions. So what occurred during the battle of Uhud? You know, the occurrence is not far-fetched. It's still fresh. When you pick the Quran, when you pick Surah Al-Imran, it's still fresh in the brain. Alaysa kadhalik. What happened during the battle of Uhud? كسروا رباعيته وشجوا في رأسه. They broke the teeth of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They broke the teeth of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That was when Talha bin Ubaidullah, I think in Siru Alam Nubala, I've forgotten, Talha bin Ubaidullah, during that battle, he came with, because the armor was inside the cheek of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so he came with his teeth to remove it, and in that instance, it was said that he lost his teeth. And because he did it because of the Prophet, they said they've never seen a more beautiful, handsome man than him. You know, naturally when you lose your teeth, they say you look ugly. He lost his teeth. in protecting the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Even the Prophet lost his teeth to the right, the molar. Murabba, that is Murabba, this one. The Prophet lost his molar teeth during the Battle of Uhud. That didn't stop. They injured the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he said, وَشُجَّ رَأْسَهُ وَشَجُّوا فِي رَأْسِهِ يعني الجرح. They injured the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he said, why? All. So that the kalima, la ilaha illallah, will become ulya. وَقَعَ فِي حُفْرَةٍ. They fell in the ditch. In the ditch. وَهُوَ نَبِيُّ اللَّهِ. Lest you forget. And he was the messenger of Allah. And he's the messenger of Allah. All of these things happened to him in calling unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. كُلُّ هَذَا أَذَى. كُلُّ هَذَا أَذَى فِي الدَّعْوَةِ إِلَى اللَّهِ. All of these are harms that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam faced in calling unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. لَكِنَّهُ صَبَرَ وَتَحَمَّلَ. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, sabara, he exercised patience. وَيَتَحَمَّلْ, and persevered, isn't it? Persevered. He exercised patience and perseverance. Of all of this that came his way, وَهُوَ أَفْضَلُ الْخَلْقِ alayhi salatu wasalam, and is the best of all of Allah's creations. Yet he went through this. فَلَا بُدَّ لِلَّذِي يَقُومُ بِهَذِهِ الدَّعْوَةِ. This is your good news now. فَلَا بُدَّ لِلَّذِي يَقُومُ بِهَذِهِ الدَّعْوَةِ أَن يَتَعَرَّضَ لِلْأَذَى عَلَى حَسْبِ إِيمَانِهِ وَدَعْوَتِهِ. Then it is a must that anyone that establishes this da'wah and calls people onto the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, أَن يَتَعَرَّضَ, that is going to face and be exposed لِلْأَذَى, to what? To harms. Ala hasbi imanihi, because of his iman. Ala hasbi sabada, shine ala hasbi. Ala hasbi imanihi, because of his iman. Wa da'awatihi, and his da'wah of calling people onto the path of Allah. Walakin alayhi an yasbira. But what is upon him is that he should exercise patience. Ma dama annahu ala haqqin, as long as he's upon the truth. So babu wani exercising patience kana ta bid'a kana bugun kirji ana gaya maka wannan ka wahala ka taka daga Sokoto ka tawo Zaria wai ka zo abun 40 na yan Shi'a, or you trekked all the way from Sokoto, Zamfara or Bauchi, you are coming all the way, or you are going towards Bauchi for Maulid, and you are mosquito bit you on the way. Armed robbers came and took away your belongings. You faced a lot of challenges. You had accident on the way. Oga, this one Allah has not asked you to do this. So that is why we said, Madama annahu alal haqqin, as long as you are upon the truth, then be patient and persevere. Allah will reward you. فَإِنَّهُ يَصْبِرُ وَيَتَحَمَّلْ فَهُوَ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ, because he's on the path of Allah. وَمَا يَنَالُهُ مِنَ الْأَذَى, and whatever harm is inflicted upon him, فَهُوَ فِي كِفَّةِ حَسَنَاتِهِ, wallahi, that will be on the scale of his good. Kiffa, it will be on the scale of his good deeds. Ajrun, it becomes a reward for him, min Allah, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inshallah, we're going to stop here. Next class, we're going to do wal asr bi-idhn Allah. Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdik, shalla la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Hadith, quickly please. Hadith. We start from behind, isn't it? Hadith. No. Please quickly. My cameraman, you have stopped getting us the people that do those the hadiths. That's just
الحديث التاسع عن أبي هريرة عبد الرحمن بن صخر رضي الله عنه قال سمعت رسول الله صلى
Muslim.
الله عليه
Lesson
وسلم
11.
يقول
Usul Thalatha in English. Sai ka sa date.
نهيتكم عنه
Sai kai
فاجتنبوه
copying abun kafin ka yi.
وما أمرتكم به فأتوا منه ما استطعتم
Na'am.
فإنما أهلك الذين من قبلكم كثرة مسائلهم واختلافهم على أنبيائهم رواه البخاري ومسلم.
Muttafaqun alayh. Naam. Excellent. Seamlessly, our mother has brought the hadith, isn't it? Our mother, imagine you guys that have a lot of free time and other things. MashaAllah. Another mother is going to try now. Bismillah. Okay. No, say because I did. Listen. Now, third, where are the fathers of the men? All right. Okay. Now, next. Abdul Karim. Quickly, so that we go to the summary of the hadith, then we move to the next one. وما أمرتكم به فأتوا منه ما استطعتم. نعم نعم على نعم متفق عليه رواه البخاري ومسلم. Okay, quickly the lesson from the hadiths. This hadith, if something is prohibited, one must stay away from it completely. If something is prohibited, one must stay away from it completely. The only exception to that is the true case of necessity. Is the true case of necessity. What is the legal maxim? الضرورات تبيح المحظورات. الضرورات تبيح المحظورات. الضرورات, that is, necessity dictates permissibility. So except in the case of necessity, what has been forbidden can be made halal for you as an individual. Due to necessity, an act may no longer be considered prohibited. Secondly, if something is ordered, one must perform it to the best of his ability. Don't suffer from laziness. Perform it to the best of your ability, because you'll not be able to do it all, but to the best of it. But evil, you can avoid it. Alaysa kadhalik, it is not possible to completely and excellently perform everything that one is ordered to do. Hence, the Prophet ﷺ has stated the cases of prohibition and other in different tunes. For prohibition, he said completely abandon it. For other, what you have been ordered to do, he said do it according to the best of your ability. Because even your salah, why immediately you say assalamu alaikum, you say astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah? Because in your salah, you have not concentrated the way you're supposed to. You have not done your ruku how you're supposed to do it. Your sujada is naqis, naqisa. Everything is problematic. So you can't be, but you do to the best of your ability. Now, thirdly, asking too many questions beyond what is needed and not with the real intent of application, you are just It's blameworthy. You are just asking questions, but you are not even willing to, like some people will just ask you some funny questions. Isn't it? You are not willing to apply it. Said, can we slaughter the goat that drank the milk that was milked by a dog? You know, a goat that was milked by a dog. Yes, in my masjid, someone asked this question. When our imam, one of our teachers, some years back at Mina, we were doing one of the dars. Then someone asked this question. So, another lesson, similarly, differing with any prophet is completely blameworthy. Instead of accepting and submitting, prior people showed some form of opposition. So today, don't show any opposition to the truth. Our hadiths, that our next week's hadiths, Allah accepts only that which is pure. An Abi Hurayrata, قال رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إن الله طيب لا يقبل إلا طيبا وإن الله أمر المؤمنين بما أمر به المرسلين فقال تعالى يا أيها الرسل كلوا من طيبات واعملوا صالحا وقال تعالى يا أيها الذين آمنوا كلوا من طيبات ما رزقناكم ثم ذكر الرجل يطيل السفر أشعث أغبر يمد يديه إلى السماء يا رب يا رب ومطعمه حرام ومشربه حرام وملبسه حرام وغذي بالحرام فأنا يستجاب له رواه مسلم. This hadith is a Muslim. We will discuss the hadiths inshallah next week. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik shalla la ilaha illa ant astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.